is Charles Pat Dempsey.
Cheryl Adams Dempsey.
Okay. Who are you known as in the Dempsey family?
Grandpa,
Grandma.
Okay. How many years younger are you guys?
I'm 75.
I am 73.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a couple questions about your financial investment path over the span of your life. You guys ready? Okay. What economic era would you say you were born in?
Well, we're boomers.
Boomers.
So that was the 50s.
Right. How did the economic era you were born in affect you and your family's finances? So whoever wanted to go first.
Well, there was a middle class at that point in time, and our parents always tried to give us more than what they had, whether it meant them working 2 jobs or whatever. And they instilled that work ethic in us where you got paid for a day's work, but you had to work hard. And what about you?
Yeah, I mean, once I started school, my mom went back to work. So both my mom and dad worked. And we didn't have a lot of money, but if you had a job, you worked hard. And that was just part of it. We were taught the responsibility of a job and that you had to work hard for your money.
Okay, fair enough. When would you guys say that your investment journey began?
For me, when I was 12 years old, I started working at a bowling alley and Taco Bells and stuff like that. And if I got paid $1, I only spent 75 cents. The other 25 cents went into savings. So I ended up loaning money out to different people at different times and charging them interest.
Okay. What about you?
For me, I really didn't start working until I was around 15. And it was more to support anything that I needed.
Right.
But I could only work during the summer. I couldn't work during the school year.
Right.
So mine was just for whatever teenage girls wanted to get at that time.
Fair enough. So financial starting wise, just to build money, but investing wise, how would you say like CDs,
Okay.
stocks and bonds?
That was later.
That was
Really-
pretty much after I got out of the service. And, you
Well,
know,
no, we did save because we bought when you were in
Condo.
the military, we bought the van,
right?
so we had to save up for that. I had my school loans that we paid back. You know, I had loans to go to college, and so we had to start paying those back.
But those weren't savings. They were pretty
No.
much whenever we had a bill to pay, we made sure the bill
Right.
got paid 100%.
Right.
And then we really started our savings once we got out of the military. And then she was working one job and I was going to school full time. I got a job right out of school, college,
Right.
and
And
that's
that's
when
when-
the real savings started.
And then I started working at a corporation that had an investment plan. So we were mid-20s.
Yeah,
24, 23, 24.
Fair enough. Are you guys glad that you started your investment journey when you did and the choices that you made? And if you were glad with your choices, were there any specific ones that you're most proud of that you're comfortable with disclosing?
Well, we've gone through the stock market crashes, several of them.
In 08, 09, we went through that,
And where a lot of people lost half their savings.
or their IRAs,
And luckily,
401ks.
I had been watching the market for quite some time, and I got out and got in cash before the market crashed.
And then the other one was when all the banks were merging,
Right?
and you had some bank stocks, and you had to go out of town.
So you had to.
And I had to pull the trigger on selling that. So that one, I forget which one that was, but I was a nervous wreck on that.
The best thing I can say that we've done is we invest in things that we know about. We don't invest in other things like she invested in in the company. She worked because she knew the company and knew how it was being managed.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked for a public corporation that worked with banks and home builders and suppliers and stuff, and I knew them, and I would invest in those stocks.
Right.
And that's pretty much my portfolio.
And the one thing that I'm proudest of with the company that I worked with for the longest, they had a pension, a stock plan where the employees could invest up to 6% of their salary. The company would match 6%. And I worked with a number of people who didn't invest anything, or they would borrow from it like it was their savings account. And I have to say that for my full tenure at that company, I invested the total amount that we could, and even a little bit more. And I got the full matching from the company. I'm proudest of that, and that's how you accumulate. You know, I've always said it went out of my check
She didn't say,
into the 401k, and it was just like no money. I didn't have it, and it just kept building on itself. So,
Would you like to add on that, Grandpa?
well, I'm a true believer of no debt. So if we took a mortgage on a house, for example, when we first bought our house, if I got an income tax check back,
or bonus, or
or a
bonus.
bonus at the work, it applied towards the principal. The 30-year mortgage got paid off in 7 years. And then what I would do is we still made our monthly mortgage payment,
Mhm.
but instead of giving it to the bank, it went to savings. And so we did that with cars, we did that with houses, any kind of debt. Once it was paid off, we were used to the money going out, so we just let it keep going out into a savings account. And it allowed us to retire at a fairly young age.
And we always lived below our means.
75 cents on the dollar.
So we didn't have a McMansion. We kept our cars for 7, 8, 10 years. And again, we knew many people who every 2 years they would have a new car, or they kept getting the larger and larger house, and we didn't. We spent our money other ways. We did travel,
Right.
and we took your mom and your aunt traveling, and were able, we like to think, provide them with some experiences.
Around. So that's
Yeah, that's how we did it, but we did live below our means. And also your mentor with the stocks that say,
is if you ever invest in stock market or whatever, if you buy a specific stock, or if you're investing in a mutual fund or an EFT or something like that, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. You set your return. Once you hit that return, you get out. And if the stock keeps going up, so what? You made your return. Now you look for other investments.
right. And that's what he did. And I'm more of a risk taker with stocks. But he would set the amount of
Profit.
profit that he wanted, and he would sell. Never fall in love with a stock.
Right. So you would say he's more conservative in the stocks.
Oh, I'm
Absolutely.
very conservative.
I'm more of a risk taker. It's play money to me. I hate to say that. It's been sitting there. You don't touch it. You know.
Okay.
She has more in savings than I do.
Fair
My
enough.
investment company has been really good.
And as far as younger people,
Yeah.
if you get into the stock market, he always used to tell me it's like going to Vegas and putting money on the crap table. Never put more into the stock market that you can't afford to lose.
That's right.
No. Yeah.
So,
And never fall in love with a particular company.
right.
Fair enough. I'm gonna wrap up with this last question. I feel like this is an obvious one, but are you currently satisfied with your investment choices you've made over the years?
Well, I wish I hadn't put quite as much into company stock as I did. It's been very profitable, but
Taxes will kill you.
taxes are gonna kill me on the gains,
If,
so.
if I had to do it all over again, and I tried to do this 15 years ago, is if you can invest in a Roth IRA instead of a regular IRA, invest in a Roth IRA. Because after 5 years and after you're 59 and a half years old, any money you remove out of the Roth IRA is tax-free. Where my 401k and her 401k, every dime we pull out, we have to pay taxes.
And
So
we-
we have to watch
Right.
how much we're gonna pull out, because we try to maximize
The tax bracket.
the staying low in the tax bracket.
But we couldn't invest in a Roth when they first came out because we made too much money.
Right,
So, yeah, do that. And when you invest in a Roth, whatever you invest in, it's not disposable income. You leave it in there.
until you're 59 and a half
Right.
or older.
Right. It would have to be some kind of horrendous emergency, but you don't touch it.
Okay,
All right, sounds good. Thank you guys for the interview.
you're welcome.
What's your name and who are you known as in our family?
My name is Michelle Hernandez, and I am Ashley's mom.
When were you born and what state?
I was born in 1975 in Illinois.
What's your general background and how were you raised over the years?
My general background is in healthcare, and
You were raised.
over the years I was raised mostly by a single mom.
And now I'm going to ask you a couple questions about your financial investment path over the span of your life. So, what economic era would you say you were born in?
I would say primarily the recession of the 80s, 1980s.
And how did that era affect you and your family's finances?
Well, my dad ended up leaving Illinois and coming out to Arizona in 1985 for work because there was no work in Illinois as a carpenter, and he had to leave the family to make money, and so he headed west.
What type of financial hardships did you face growing up?
So, because after my dad left, obviously, then there was a divorce, and my mom was a homemaker, so she did not work. So it was hard for her to buy new things like clothes, anything like going out to the restaurants. We rarely did that. And our extended family, the grandparents, helped raise me and my brother.
Did these hardships that your family faced encourage you to invest your money later on?
The hardships that I faced early on, and as a young adult, encouraged me to have a loving relationship and create my own family because of there was so much turmoil.
Mm-hmm.
The financial aspect did not come into my forethoughts until I found myself divorced in 2018.
And when did you begin your investment journey?
I began my personal journey in 2018. And that started with a New York Life retirement account, life insurance policy, and it funds a whole life policy that allows me to contribute monthly into a fund, and I was able to choose what kind of fund that I wanted to invest in for my retirement.
Are you glad that you started your investment journey when you did?
Better late than never.
What specific steps did you take to invest your money in your 20s?
The only steps I took was through marriage and buying a marital home with my ex-spouse. Real estate does provide a growth and equity over time, and so with the sale of the marital home after my divorce, I did have equity in the house, and I was able to turn that money over and invest it into my own house.
If you had a chance to go back and change your investment choices, would you?
No, I am very happy where I am today. I have a career I love, and I have a 401k that I contribute to, and I max it out because obviously I'm 51, so I do the max contribution of 6%, and my employer matches it 3%. I also have some crypto I've invested in, and I feel like I have a diverse portfolio of stocks, crypto, real estate, and a life insurance policy that, you know, if I continue the next 20 years, I should be okay.
And how did your investment plan change over the course of your life up until now?
Well, it drastically changed after I was divorced, where I realized, okay, I'm in my 40s and I need to start thinking about my life and where my retirement is going to be, so my kids aren't taking care of me. So it's always better to invest later than never.
Well, that's all the questions. Thank you.
All right, what is your name? What is your name?
Grandpa Mikey.
When were you born and what state were you born in?
I was born on July 29th, 1959 in Washington State.
I'm going to ask you a couple questions about your financial investment path over the span of your life. What economic era would you say you were born in?
The baby boomers.
How did the economic era you were born in affect you and your family's finances?
Well, we were doing okay. The family was doing financially okay. We weren't very wealthy or anything like that, but we had, everything we needed, car, a house.
All right. When did you begin your investment journey, and describe the journey briefly?
The investment journey began, early when I started working, briefly in high school, and then afterwards took a variety of different jobs, earned some money, saved it up.
Are you glad you started your investment journey when you did?
Yes and no. I mean, I could have had a little bit more fun instead of saving up.
Yeah, more fun in your 20s. What specific steps did you take to invest money in your 20s?
Well, I mainly just didn't spend as much.
Did you put it into certain investment portfolios or anything like that?
Mostly just saved it up and
Just
just kept it in my bank account instead of spending it.
Yeah. How did your investment plan change over the course of your life up until now?
Well, other things could happen, like such as once you started making, like I would call serious money, you know, as you got
Yeah.
a stable job and so forth. Obviously, you're before that it was, you know, when you were in college and, you know, just starting out, you just saved your money in your bank account. But once you accumulated some money, you would put it into financial investments, mostly mutual funds that hopefully earn more.
Yeah. Are you currently satisfied with your investment choices you've made over the years?
Right now, no. I think I should, in my more earning years, I should have saved a little bit more than I have.